There we go. Yay! Okay, so hey guys, we are starting our stream today, and we are gonna check out. We're gonna finish the book about targeted individuals. Yesterday we were checking out this video by Cryptid Candy, and it was about targeted individuals. We were checking out their stories. There were some people that actually had gang stalking evidence, so we were checking that out too. And now here we go. And we're gonna continue this video. I'm gonna just refresh it and then we're gonna get started. This should be fun.
Being quite active on Instagram and TikTok. Most of her uploads consist of her attempting to document evidence. She posts information about targeted individuals and about the directed energy weapons that are allegedly being used to torture victims around the world. She states that she will not be silenced.
We're like almost done actually. Let's keep going.
It's simple for program on therapeutic fiber.
Head to broad.
Tristan Bold 3 detergent.
Those commercials are crazy, right? They just have like such a different aesthetic.
If you need a little more Cryptid Candy in your life, check out the brand new channel Discord server.
And look at this right go.
Expect weekly live streams in the Discord server.
Let's see.
As in their apartment, tracking his
We're gonna check
every
out this
move.
guy. We're gonna do a little
She
deep
also
dive,
states
or
that
we're gonna
May
stream
one
his
time went as
videos.
far as sleeping fully clothed with a kitchen knife in his hand, fearing that the neighbors were, quote, up to no good. His friends, family, and girlfriend would all try to reassure him that he was not being watched and that he just needed to get some help. May would refuse their reassurance and claim that they were all just wrong about the situation. By September 2014, it was clear that May was suffering from a mental condition of some kind, with Tallahassee psychotherapist Linda Miles believing that it was paranoid schizophrenia. May's behavior
sounds like paranoid
continued to
schizophrenia.
escalate, with him alternating between brief moments of normality right back into a paranoid state. At one point, Myron May left his girlfriend a voicemail, claiming to have actually found a camera in his car.
Imagine.
Hey Danielle, it's Myron.
You Myron, bro?
I just wanted you to know I found one of the cameras that was actually installed inside my vehicle. Like I literally have the camera right here in my pocket. There are several officers around me right now trying to stop me. So I thought I'd just let you know, just in case they actually pull them off and do stop me, because I have the camera and I'm bringing it to you. May appeared thin and disheveled in his appearance, claiming that he was being followed by, quote, 10 or 15 cops on his way over.
Imagine, dude, those are a lot of
Going
cops.
on to accuse other patients in the waiting room of his girlfriend's workplace of, quote, following him.
That's
May
crazy.
later showed up at her house for the last time later that night, in which she begged him to get the help that he needs, but of course he would refuse again. By the time 911 was called, May was gone.
Imagine, dude, that's insane.
This all occurred after May resigned from his job, and it was reported that May had checked himself into the Mesilla Valley Hospital for a mental health evaluation, being released after only 4 days. By late October, May decided to travel back to his hometown of Wawahitchka for unknown reasons. But after visiting family, May decided to seek refuge in the home of David and Abigail Taunton. The pair provided and managed residential homes for boys and girls and have provided shelter for what they estimate to be over 300 youths over the years.
Those are a lot of people.
The couple had not seen May since high school until he showed up again at their doorstep in October of 2014.
Wow.
May spent time visiting his own family, friends, and the Tauntons, even attending their annual camping trip. David Taunton said that May appeared, quote, at peace but slightly stressed,
Who wouldn't be
as
if
if
he's
he
getting
had
gang
things
stalked?
on his mind. By the third week of May's stay on their property, Abigail Taunton started seeing a change in May's personality. May claimed he was having trouble sleeping, along with excruciating headaches. On November 12, 2014, May showed David a 15-minute-long video detailing supposed government technology that he claimed
Oh
was
my God.
capable of spying on people,
That's
along
the
with
effect of
controlling
gang
their
stalking.
thoughts and actions. He also
Gang
went
stalking
on to
makes you
say
feel
that
like
May
that.
had paid around
You feel
$90
really crazy
to be
sensations.
part of an online support group for those who claimed to be targeted individuals. 6 days before he opened fire, he posted this bizarre and disturbing post on the targeted individual's national Facebook page. Has anyone here ever been encouraged by your handler to kill with a promise of freedom?
That's crazy.
In the following days,
Oh my God.
Myron was not seen at church or at work.
I think he
Worried,
actually
Abigail
unalived
Taunton
someone.
reached out. May would claim he just needed to get away and reassured her that he would be back. May opened fire on November 20th, 2014, physically injuring 3 individuals and forever altering the lives
Dude.
of more than just his community.
Gang stalking made him
His laptop
unalive
was
people.
seized, in which an hour-and-a-half video detailing his experience as a targeted individual.
We're
was
gonna check out
filmed.
his content, by the way.
You can watch the whole video on YouTube.
It's already on my
What if
notes,
recording
so we're gonna
high-quality
finish watching
content,
that.
editing like a pro, and streaming like a star was as simple as hitting record?
That's
With Riverside,
insane, dude.
it's-
Imagine how crazy that must be, dude, to be harassed so much that you just and
We've all had nasty neighbors, but an entire town? Think how annoyed you get when just one person honks at you. Now imagine all your neighbors driving by sitting on that horn 24/7.
this is actual gang stalking.
In
Like,
2007,
this is true.
in the small town of Hubbard, Ohio, Rick and Cindy Curlich became the center of organized harassment. It all began when Rick and Cindy sued their next-door neighbor, John Clemente. See, John Clemente's house was in the middle of probate court. Rick and Cindy took this opportunity
Organized
to
harassment
file
doesn't
a
really need a lot of
lawsuit
organization.
so that they could acquire the house for themselves. Essentially, they were trying to buy a house that wasn't for sale. The property was in the Clemente family for generations.
How could they even
so
buy
John
a house
didn't
that
take
wasn't
too
for sale?
kindly of anyone trying to buy the family home.
Huh.
Rick and Cindy Curlich were ultimately not successful in purchasing the house, and even though the lawsuit was dropped, they were officially a target. At the time, John Clemente was the town fire chief,
Oh my God, my milkers are
and
showing.
apparently, he had friends. Almost every time a car would pass by Rick and Cindy's property, they would honk.
And look, there's the evidence. There's the evidence, dude, of gang stalking.
Rick and Cindy decided to install surveillance cameras to document the harassment. The cameras around the property captured random cars, police cars, firefighters, school buses, even hearses, honking whenever they passed the Curlich property. 100 honks a day. Rick and Cindy began to document and sue every individual who honked. In 2014, the Curliches filed a complaint against more than 40 defendants. The initial judgment found that the only substantiated claim was that someone was honking car horns. But this alone did not constitute intentional infliction of emotional distress. The Curliches attempted to appeal this decision. In 2019, Rick and Cindy's appeal was denied again, and they were ordered to pay $8,250 in attorney fees for the defendants. John Clemente denies ever organizing a horn-blowing campaign against the Curlich family. Remember how earlier I said that gang stalking is often associated with paranoid schizophrenia? Well, the very first fully documented case of schizophrenia was a man named James Tilly Matthews, and he also believed that he was being gang stalked.
So
Many
is
believe
gang
that
stalking equal to
has its
schizophrenia, dude?
shadowy roots in the 1940s, when the CIA engaged in covert mind control programs
No.
such as Project Bluebird, Project Artichoke, MK Ultra, and so on. But claims of this phenomena go back further, about 200 years. James Tilly Matthews was a British merchant of Welsh and Huguenot descent. He was born in 1770, and he is the very first fully documented case of schizophrenia. Interestingly, the claims established by Matthews over 200 years ago sound a lot like the modern allegations of gang stalking put forth by targeted individuals. In 1797, Matthews was confined
Gang
to
stalking
the
is actually just like
notorious
when a
London
bunch of
Bedlam
people
Asylum
harass a single person.
for believing that his mind was
It's
under the
insane.
control
It's
of the
meant
heirloom,
it's meant to
a
mimic
machine that he
schizophrenia.
claimed used magnetic rays and
It's super
mysterious
crazy, dude.
gases to brainwash politicians and other unsuspecting victims. He went on to claim that the machine could alter thoughts and read minds. Matthews believed that there was a gang of criminals and spies orchestrating this harassment. He spoke of a mass brainwashing program that controlled the high politics that led to the Napoleonic Wars.
Okay, no,
John
now that is
Dennison
real
was a
schizophrenia.
London apothecary.
That
For
is real
10
schizophrenia,
years,
dude.
he documented the delusions of James Tilly Matthews in meticulous detail, and in 1810, he released the very first ever book dedicated to documenting delusions, titled Illustrations of Madness. Now, the book documented the paranoid delusions, and it also included technical diagrams of the mysterious heirloom device drawn by Matthews himself. The diagrams were strangely
I saw
intricate.
too many things.
Matthews' drawings included batteries, barrels, cylinders, levers, and more. The device
That's true,
allegedly
yeah. So I
worked
saw
by
too- I saw way
meshing
too many
airs and
things that
gases
were
into a
obviously
quote,
out
warp of magnetic
You know, sometimes
fluid.
I even question it, but then I go back to all the
Matthews
memories that I have
claimed
about it.
that the mysterious criminal
And it just-
organization that controlled the heirloom implanted
it's
a
just
magnet
insane.
in his brain that allowed full control of his mind and body. He claimed to be remotely tormented with constant bouts of vivid hallucinations. He claimed that his tormentors were able to force him to speak whatever words they wanted and could inflict physical agonies upon him at will.
Those images are so
These
scary.
experiences sound a lot like the allegations put forth by victims of V2K and other directed energy weapons.
The whole thing with the directed
So
energy
what do
weapons is
targeted
just
individuals
it's
have
just
to
your
say
own
about
mind
James
creating
Tilly
weird
Matthews?
feelings, weird sensations.
James Tilly Matthews, the first targeted individual.
I've experienced it, dude. It's just weird
Matthews
physiological
claimed
sensations.
that the heirloom used magnetic rays to control people's minds. Weirdly, he wasn't too far off.
That power the human machines, that influence human behavior.
The whole thing with the directed energy weapons, dude, it's insane because you start interpreting your things that your mind does. You start interpreting them as attacks by
The
directed energy
most
weapons.
disturbing
It's
rabbit
insane.
hole associated with gang stalking is the alleged electronic harassment via directed energy weapons. A directed
content is
energy
pushed by
weapon
gang
is a
stalking.
ranged weapon that uses
Do the
energy
math or not do the
without a
math,
solid
but do a little bit
projectile.
more research when you're checking
This
out.
includes utilizing lasers, microwaves, high and low frequencies, particle beams.
When you check out the actual directed energy weapons, like when you check out if the things square off, the science that is talked about in gang stalking testimonies, you see that all of it nothing makes sense. Like if you actually take a look at it and use logic to try to understand what they're trying to convey, you're gonna see that all of those are wrong. Like we check out the other lives, and then you're gonna be able to see it.
Beams and sound beams. Targeted individuals are often deemed mentally ill, but victims claim that their mental illness is induced. Targeted individuals
induced by
often
harassment.
refer to something called a voice-to-skull
But not by
technology,
directed energy weapons.
or by its acronym V2K. It's also
I
called
believed that
microwave
for a little
hearing
bit, to be honest.
because
I did
many of the
until I
alleged
understood how it
technologies
worked.
are based on the microwave auditory effect. Voice to skull technology is allegedly used to induce schizophrenic symptoms in victims by transmitting voices and audio directly into a person's head. The technology to do this is real.
But it's not
In
being used on
fact,
people.
there's a couple of different patented ways to achieve this, and much more. Microwaves are a form of electromagnetic radiation. Microwave technology allows us to heat up our food and transmit wireless power. And it also enables us to induce the perception of sounds in both hearing and deaf individuals. In 1961, neuroscientist Alan H. Frey published the first paper in the Journal of Applied Physiology on the microwave auditory effect, which is why it's also known as the Frey effect. Researchers were able to transmit the sound of a human voice directly into the heads of test subjects, absolutely inaudible to anyone else. They found that the waves activated cochlear receptors the same way that actually hearing something would. They projected spoken numbers and short words to the test subjects. What people heard in their head sounded like an electronically modulated voice. Again,
See?
no one was able to hear this except the test subjects.
When you hear voices, it sounds like
Another way
normal
to
speech.
achieve
It doesn't
voice to
sound like
skull
digitally
is through the
modified
radio frequency
voices.
hearing effect. Patent US 6470214B1 described as a method and device for implementing the radio frequency hearing effect.
This is
The
not used on
patent is
people.
classified under arrangements or circuits for monitoring, protecting, controlling, or indicating, and it's assigned to the U.S. Air Force. The phenomena was first discovered during World War II, when a subjective clicking sound was being produced by a pulsed radar signal when the transmitted power was above a certain threshold. Interestingly, when the radar signal was pulsed below the threshold level, the click could no longer be heard. The discovery of the radio frequency hearing effect suggested the idea that a pulsed radio frequency carrier could potentially be encoded. This was under the assumption that the click of the pulse carrier was similar in a way to a data sample, and could therefore be used to create both simple and complex tones, including speech. The radio frequency hearing effect is best described as a thermal to acoustic demodulation process, in which energy absorption in a medium, such as a human head, causes both expansion and contraction, creating an acoustic signal.
This video is so well researched. It's incredibly well researched, dude. It's kind of amazing,
There is an
actually.
entire index filled with some of the most disturbing patents imaginable. 2 separate patents that remotely cause individuals to hear voices via EMF waves, imperceptible to anyone else. U.S. Patent 5889870A from 1996 makes voices emanate from individuals who do not intend or realize it, coined the ventriloquist effect. U.S. Patent Code US 6488617B1 is described as a method and device for producing a desired brain state within an individual. US 6167304A remotely manipulates central nervous system of a subject by applying electric field to skin. US
This video is so well
6506148B2
researched.
manipulates subject brain waves via frequencies
It's
emanating
insane.
from computer and TV screens. This index contains real US patents that alter dreams, control human
Patents
behavior
don't mean
via
it. If you're
extremely
targeted,
low
understand
frequencies.
that.
Another one that remotely causes individuals to feel bodily swaying, and much, much more. There's even a patent for an imaging device that improves the aim of other directed energy weapons. And some directed energy weapons are described as extremely precise, even
I don't understand how literally no one talks about the actual effect. You know, like I really don't understand how people don't really talk about the actual effect of gang stalking on the mind. No one ever tries to even talk about how your mind is capable of making you feel crazy sensations. Like the mind can make you hear voices, the mind can make you hear sensations, and it's crazy that people are more steered towards believing that they are being harassed with this crazy technology rather than to consider the fact that their head is malfunctioning, which is the truth. The heads of targeted individuals have been messed with so hard that they don't function like normally. They simply don't.
Over distances of thousands of miles. I also found a patent with a method that identifies victims of directed energy weapons and can also identify who the remote attacker is, which does make you wonder why there's a patent on this at all. Directed energy weapons really are the perfect controversy. If hypothetically these weapons are being used against targeted individuals, there would really be no way to prove it. It's the perfect crime.
Yep.
And if these weapons are not being used, the fact that they exist at all is enough to validate the narrative
Hey, Rob.
that maybe they could be. So
Ra is saying it is hard
question
to
is,
just misuse the word
what
you
are
live
these
decisions come
technologies
from.
being
Words
used for?
So this video is called the gang stalking of targeted individuals. It's on YouTube.
Operation Wandering Soul was a propaganda campaign and psychological warfare tactic exercised by the U.S.
The thing is that
military
the
during
directed
the
energy
Vietnam
weapons
War.
are a
They
perfect
would
crime.
fly over targeted
But the thing is that
areas,
I know
projecting
people
eerie
can't dismiss
sounds
it, but
and audio
it's the
through
truth.
speakers that were meant to sound like the ghost of dead Vietnam soldiers.
There is no way that people are gonna be
afterlife.
trying to harass people electronically.
They
Like
recorded
the moment you
real
believe
Vietnamese
that, you're
soldiers
effed
and had
hard.
them say things like, "My body is gone. I am dead. My family, tragic. How tragic. My friends, I came back to let you know that I am dead. I am dead. I am in hell."
That's crazy. That's scary as hell.
Tôi đã về với mình đây. Nhưng tôi còn đau mảnh hài nữa.
The audio was meant to psychologically play into the deep-rooted beliefs of Vietnamese culture that shows a lot
That
of
is so
respect
scary,
for the
dude.
dead. These sounds scared a lot of Vietnamese soldiers into surrendering. The audio was played through speakers from an aircraft, but as it turns out, the military might have developed an even sneakier way to do this.
And something that I worked on, that I'm not proud of, but it's called the Voice of God weapon. So there are 4 different techniques and technologies that can pipe voices into an individual's
Do you think people are going to be
head.
using this out of any type
And
of
once you
government
can
program?
do that,
No.
You can control them using
Like
neural
this
linguistic
stuff is for
programming
war,
techniques.
and you don't even hear about it during the war.
You're rewiring.
You know what I mean? Like when there's a war, you don't hear about it. When directed energy weapons are being used, we hear about them.
Their thought processes and brains.
The Voice of God weapon is a device that projects voices into your head to make you think that God is speaking to you. Well, okay. The Voice of God device was allegedly used during the Gulf War to convince Iraqi soldiers that Allah was commanding them to surrender. This device does
That's
not
genius.
have official confirmation to actually exist
See?
or to have been utilized. Though there have been very credible inside people that have come out to say that it does exist. For now, it sort of exists like a military urban myth. Though technically, they really do have the technology, and as we saw, the patents to achieve it. So I wouldn't be surprised. In fact, in 2018,
No.
an article detailed how the US military is making
So there is something called a prophetic patent, and a prophetic patent is pretty much a patent that only exists without the technology actually being realized. Prophetic patents are patents done on possible technologies that might work. However, the science behind it kind of squares off, but it hasn't been done yet. So there is a differentiation between not all patents are the same. There are prophetic patents and there are actual patents for things that are already in practice. Just understand that. Let's keep watching the video.
an acronym for Mob Access Deterrent using silent audio. It's intended to be used for crowd control. The Medusa sends shockwaves inside a person's skull. The scary part is that since it technically bypasses the ears, there is essentially no way to block it out. It can also be used as an invisible scarecrow to deter birds because apparently birds are very sensitive to microwaves. Then there's the active denial system, a non-lethal directed energy weapon that can heat the water in an individual's skin that causes incapacitating pain. Apparently, there's been concerns that this may actually cause irreversible damage to the eyes, but it's still being tested.
That stuff
These
has
are
been
a
being
few
tested for
samples
1,000
of
years.
patents and technologies, but there are a lot more. In fact, there's a lot that I'm choosing to consciously not mention. These are the technologies that targeted individuals point at when they hear voices in their head.
Gang stalkers also
This is why
push this
targeted
technology.
Individuals don't believe that they're mentally ill. They believe they are fighting a shadowy organization that is inflicting these experiences onto them. And targeted individuals try to fight these attacks however they can. On the site targetedjustice.com, there are instructions for targeted individuals on how to protect themselves against these alleged microwave attacks. They call it water shielding. The idea is that water absorbs microwaves, so a contraption is designed to surround one's head with water so that targeted individuals can get some sleep. Because many claim that the microwave attacks are
God.
so vicious that they can't sleep at night. And there actually is a proven way to block out electromagnetic radiation from directed energy weapons. And I'm not joking. Tinfoil hats. Yes, aluminum foil. With all of this said, why would a government or any organization isolate and target people? Some say you become targeted for being a whistleblower. Some believe you stepped on someone's toes and
There is
ended up on
so
some
much
corrupt list.
conspirational
And
thinking
others say you
in
are
this.
targeted for no reason at all. In fact, this is
Gang
probably
stalking
the
has
most
nothing to do
widely
with you, by the
believed
way.
reason is that there is no reason.
Exactly.
Targeted individuals often believe that people are picked at random to be part of a secret human experimentation.
And it's an
that subjects
experimentation.
people to non-consensual mind control, aka MK Ultra 2.0.
Ugh.
Now, even though there are a lot of patents on this technology and there are some obvious war-related applications to them, I don't believe these technologies are being used on everyday people. In fact, disclaimer, I am not, and this video is not, saying that the government or any organization is using directed energy weapons on
Because they're
unwilling
not.
participants at all. With a video like this, you know I need a lot of disclaimers.
For real.
All of this does make you think a little, though. I mean, have you ever had the eerie feeling of being watched for no good reason?
Everyone has.
Have you ever misplaced an item only to have it reappear in a strange location?
It happens all the
Have
time.
you ever had a moment where you could have sworn that someone called your name? You ask everyone in
That
the
I've never
house,
experienced.
only to find out that no one ever called you.
It's your
Or
mind.
maybe, just maybe, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'm sorry I've been gone for a while. I've hired some researchers to help me be a little more consistent. So you can expect a lot of new content more consistently. If you are into researching these kinds of subjects, like this type of stuff is your fucking jam, email me. Maybe you can join the team. It really means a lot to have your support, so please consider becoming a Patreon and joining the Discord. And as always, I will see you in the next one.
So let's give him a... What kind of videos does this guy do? Because... Does he make any other type of videos? Let's check him out. Oh, excuse me.
And now, your hosts,
the
Mike
hell?
Jarek and
Being quite active on Instagram and
Let's see. Getting into Benadryl lore, Dark lore. Ooh, I guess this would be fun to like watch like another time or something. But that video was so well researched. OMG, dude. Okay, so now. So, guys, we were gonna finish this video. We're done with it. So now, I'm gonna charge my laptop, and then we're gonna check out on Myron May. We're gonna check out his gang stalking experience on the next live. So we're gonna be doing that later on today. In probably like 1 hour. I just need a little bit of rest. And I need to charge my battery because I don't want my battery to freaking die. One thing is that please understand, guys, that if you are a target individual, you have to understand that when you are targeted, you are literally being harassed by a bunch of people, like narcissists, haters. And the harassment literally makes your mind feel weird sensations. It makes your mind hear voices. It is not directed energy weapons. That's the truth of it. And the thing is that the methodologies of gang stalkers are so wildly effective, and people implicate, like gang stalkers themselves implicate that they have technology so that you go insane. They imply that they follow you. They imply that they know who you are, even online, as you guys have clearly seen it a lot of times on the channel. They imply that they have technology that you cannot even imagine. Like, I actually had a gang stalker tell me that we have technology that you cannot even imagine. So just understand that gang stalking is meant to make you believe that directed energy weapons are being used on you. Please understand that. And only by knowing that it is your mind that is actually causing you those weird sensations, only by understanding that, you're going to be able to actually escape gang stalking. Your mind is what is actually getting attacked and manipulated, and the only way to escape that is by staying away from any person that creates confusion, staying away from any person that tries to demoralize you, and any person that is mean in any way, shape, or form. Okay? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys on my next stream, okay? In about an hour, we're going to be back. Bye, guys.